They tell us that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And there's no way that the world is going to celebrate greatness in you if you've not taken time to really find out what you're gifted in.
Wadau na wadaudet, karibuni. Welcome back to class. Kama umekuwa ukitujoin, umedecide kutujoin leo. This is a class about life. We're trying to learn the secret to success. So every day we have conversations with people, team leaders. We have conversations with leaders, people who've succeeded in life or are on the journey of success. Ndio tuone hata si tutalearn what we can learn from them. The gentleman that I'm going to be speaking to today is called Joel Kobia. He's going to be teaching us how to go for gold. He's a holder of an MBA in Leadership and Strategic Management, Bachelor of Commerce, Finance Option, and a Certified Public Accountant. Yes, Joel is a dedicated professional with over 10 years working experience in leadership, financial management, training, and consultancy. Yeah. He's also an author and has written 2 books of... I need to write a book. Wait. I'm doing badly. I believe the first book was called Between Me and My Exploits, Overcoming Self-Imposed Barriers to Greatness. And now the second book, which he released in March 2020?
March 2020.
Yeah, Go for Gold, The Art of Asking Right. Joel, karibu sana.
Shukran.
Hey, welcome. Tuanzie tu hapa. Me, my shovel is ready. Where is this gold?
Where is this gold?
Yes.
No, the gold is in us. They tell us that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. And there's no way that the world is going to celebrate greatness in you if you've not taken time to really find out what you're gifted in. Yeah. It is recorded that a man's gifts open doors for them and presents them before the presence of the high and mighty. So that thing that is your gift, that thing that is your talent, that is your passion, is what is going to cause you to shine out there, and is the one that is going to cause great doors to be opened before thee.
How many people are walking around in life and they've not known their goal, their purpose? And I find it a bit sad though.
Yeah. Yeah, there are millions and millions of people. According to Thomas Edison, the gentleman behind the electric bulb, he tells us that out of all the people on the face of the earth, only 5% think. 10%, my brother, think that they think. Then 85% of us would rather die than think.
That is... Hey, I hope I'm thinking. What?
Yeah, 5% think, 10% think they think, and the rest of us, 85% would rather die than think. And for that reason, you find most of us are facing our lives on trial and error. You try this, it doesn't work. You try another, it doesn't work. You try another, it doesn't work. But how about us becoming DIP, deliberate, intentional, and purposeful about our lives, whereby you take over the position of the CEO in your life? Yes, you're the one who told yourself to dress the way you're dressed. You're the one who told yourself to come here today. So if you told yourself what time to wake up and you woke up at that time, if you told yourself what time to eat or what time to go out there and refresh and you did it, how many more other things can you guide yourself into doing and you do? You find we are the greatest peer pressure into our lives. Only what you do gets done. So it's good for us to really be deliberate about calling ourselves to those meetings and guiding ourselves on what to do.
You say
DIP. Deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. No try and error, my brother.
Dip it. Bro. Well, at what age did you start having these conversations with yourself about going for greatness? About going for the gold?
Going for gold. This conversation started when I was in high school. I was in a school called Mangu High School in Thika. And Form 1, Form 2, I was performing very well. Form 3, I picked the wrong subjects, became number last. And at that point in time, I suffered inferiority complex. I went for numerous counseling sessions, coaching therapies, so that at least I can be brought back to normal. Because I told myself I'm useless, I'm worthless, and that nothing good can come out of me. In due course of that, my dad introduced me to a book called The University of Success. That was in Form 3. And the University of Success really guided me to know that no one owes me anything. No one owes me joy, no one owes me peace, no one owes me happiness. Yes, that I'm the master of my destiny. Yeah, those who are Christians, it's recorded in Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3. Commit your plans to God and you'll be successful in carrying them out. And so at this point in time, in as much as I'd been taken round and round to all these counseling sessions, I came to the realization that there's nothing wrong with me. The only wrong thing that was happening was my perception about the number last that I got. Yeah. And of course, hurting people hurt. If you're hurting in the inside, you'll always look for someone to hurt. Ukiona vielea vyaundwa. So for that reason, I told myself, how about me starting to wish other people well? Because at the point when I became number last, I started wishing others downfall. Nikicheki msee kwa dari wanainua mkono, nashindwa mbona nainua mkono na mimi sijui. Ikifika time exam, I look at the results that guys are going to get, I'm going to be number last again. I feel bad and I start wishing that something bad happens to them. Wakuwa wagonjwa, kitu mbaya ifanyike. And that time, this is the guy who is the organizing secretary of the CU, is the one inviting preachers. Yeah. So I started having conversations with myself. By wishing others evil, evil came my way. By pulling others down, I also went low. Because there's no way you can pull someone down without going down. And so I changed my gears into wishing other people well. And I started looking at what I'm gifted in. I was very good in mathematics, vitu kama bio na chemistry ndio zilikuwa nanileta chini, but like in French and all these other subjects I was doing very well. So I started looking for the guys in my class who are not very good in the subjects which I was performing well. Nikaanza kuangalia and revising with them and really helping them out. The more I helped them to become better students in the subjects that they were not faring well, I also got individuals who could help me in the subjects that I was not faring well. So moved from 40s, late 40s, number last, to early 40s, then to 30s, towards KCSE 20s and all that. And I came to the realization that it's all about how I perceive life. That, there's nothing good or bad in life. It all depends with my perception, how I see it. One man's meat, it's another man's poison. And from there, things changed.
Is there something terribly wrong with our school system? Because, for you to be in high school and already you're suffering from an inferiority complex. Because weirdly enough, I also suffered through that my entire time in school. And that's because during our time, being number one, then that meant you'll be successful in life. Now, in my case, I was very talented when it came to arts. When it came to sciences and maths, sikuwa hapo. And because of that, I always knew I was going to be a failure. And I was always being told that. And nini about our schools? Why? Because I think when it comes to arts, I might have been a genius. I am a genius in that. Why didn't you tell me, Philip, you're good in arts, you're good at that, and that's okay?
I like that.
Well, I'm very, I don't know your take on our school system.
I like that.
Because I think you're modeled to believe you're going to fail in school. I mean, you're going to fail in life right from when you're in primary school, which is sad.
I thank God for the introduction of the new curriculum, competence-based curriculum, because with that, they're not just focused on academics, and they're calling them learners and not students or pupils. And everyone is a learner in some area. There's someone who is very good in basketball, someone else is very good in kati. Wanacheza kati. Someone else is very good in bano and all these other things. Someone is good in acting. So personally, I was very good in leadership. Nakumbuka hata tukicheza ball ile ya kugawana, we are the ones who naambia msee enda hii side, mwingine enda hii side. Cha baba cha mama, mimi ndo naashu nani atakuwa baba mama. So nakuta, by God's grace, my French teacher, Rabu Fujir, he was a Rwandese. He approached me one day, that is the second term of Form 3, after kwa last in the previous term. And he told me, excusez-moi Joel, je voudrais que vous êtes le président de le club français. I want you to become the French club president. And I told him, ce n'est pas possible, it's not possible. Because in this school, you can't become a prefect if you're not top 10. Again, leadership was linked to academics. But by God's grace akanishika mkono tukaenda mpaka kwa gate ni almost half a kilometer. And he was really convinced that I would make the best French club president. I told him it can't, ananichezea tu akili. But the long and short of it, he managed to convince me that indeed I can become the prefect. So coming back, nikaenda kwa staff room, I was interviewed by the panel of the teachers, and I was given the job. So I became one of the first, in fact, I want to believe one of the first and most unclever person, let me not use a foolish or stupid student, to become the prefect of that particular club or any club in that school. 2 weeks after that, the house mistress of my dorm, the old boys dorm, came and told me, Joel, I want you to become the house captain of the old boys dorm. I told her it's not possible.
I'm not top 10.
I'm not top 10. Nikapatiwa reverse call. Slap ya kwanza, inarudishwa kwa ndege. Yeah, and she told me, niwe utakuwa. And I told her, madam, before you do it again, please, I'll take it.
I'll take it. Yeah.
And I went to the staff room, I was interviewed, and I was given the job. Nikaipelekwa cubicle and all that, given someone to be taking care of my needs. And those conversations continued again. How come these guys can see potential in me and I could not? And looking at at what happened thereafter, it really contributed in me starting to believe in myself. Because that time I was deep down in the pit. I had negative noise factors in my mind telling me I'm not good enough, I can't make it. In some other quarters, some people thought I was dealing drugs, some of my relatives. And of course, it was very hard for me to get them out of that. From top 10 to number last. What could be the contributor?
You're abusing drugs.
Find X, or find the Y. Yeah, kwa hivyo, with that belief in me, and of course with that book that I was subjected to, and the kind of belief, kutoka hapo nikaanza kujiambia, no, I'm going to change the narrative. And it has to change with me. Since they're believing in me, I can't let them down. So I looked at the strength that I had in leadership, and I applied that same strength in my academics. And by God's grace and mercy, I would say it really worked hard. Because ni kama ile, if you want to paint something and you've put some paint here and there's a white sheet here, you have the brush, you apply where it's most, and you paint it on the place where it's blank. So I used that gifting, that talent, that belief, as more or less as first aid that was supposed to take me from the zero negative place into the place where I really needed to be.
At home, as you were going through this inferiority complex in school, at home, how was it like for you? Were you being encouraged, or were they pulling you down?
Okay. So at the school, I would say the school system favored me in the sense that my teachers did not really point fingers at me. They didn't discriminate against me because I was not doing well. And I pray that our school teachers, maybe in high schools, in primary schools, and all these learning institutions, can really create time to identify the strengths that these students have or these learners have. If you can focus on those strengths, chances are very high that they'll up their game when it comes to academics. Now, coming to home, I would say my dad was very, very supportive. He's a person who really loved me and believed in me. I remember I used to play golf. Na tungeenda naye kucheza golf, and he would be very glad to introduce me to his fellow teammates, or the other people in the club, Apage Railways and all these others, telling them, this is my son, he's in Mangu High School, National School, and he's doing very well. Of course, when I became number last, it was not business as usual. He also could not understand what was not happening right. So I was taken to a psychiatrist. Tuko naishi South Sea, so nikapelekwa Buru for almost 2 weeks to a psychiatrist kuangalia kama kichwa yangu iko sawa and whether there's any help I could get from there in terms of counseling. So I would say they also did their very best. My pastors came to pray for me and all that. They did their very, very best to make sure that kama ni pocket money, I'm not having excess, nakuwa tu na bare minimum, just in case I could be influenced negatively by by my colleagues out there. So they gave me best of support. But of course, they could not understand what was not happening right. Especially for a person who claims to be born again and organizing secretary of the CU. They gave me good support.
It's something you just mentioned. You had a beautiful relationship with your father. A lot of people didn't grow up with that. And what is the impact of that? And just to the parents that are watching and they have young kids, and especially the fathers. I'm always, because a coursework I was doing somewhere about parenting, and believe it or not, a child stops learning from the mom at around 7 years. From that point, it's the father.
Yeah.
Everything a mom can teach a child between 0 to 7, you're supposed to have done it.
Yes.
After that, yes, they will listen to you and whatnot, but after that, the focus is always on the father. So fathers have more impact on a child's life than anyone else. And
right.
just speak on that maybe.
Yeah, that's true. It's biblical for those who believe in the word of God, the Bible. And we find father is the priest of the family. Yeah, is the authority. And it's like that. That's how God created the universe. And people always tend to focus on the leadership. John C. Maxwell, one of the most celebrated leadership consultants on earth, says that everything rises and falls on leadership. Yeah. So there's nothing like leadership vacuum. If the father is not there, then the children are going to have individuals out there that they can maybe look up to. If they don't believe in the kind of leadership that they are offering, especially for those who are single mothers, and you feel that there's no father, somehow you look for a father figure out there. It could be an uncle, it could be an auntie, it could be a clergy, someone out there. And unfortunately or fortunately, some of these people don't know you well. They don't believe in you. They don't love you. They don't believe in you well. They don't wish you well, some of them. Yeah. And for that reason, it becomes very hard for that kid really to emulate any authority, positive authority that is there in their life. So looking back at my dad, I would say he was a gentleman, and he still is a gentleman. He treated me as an adult. I can remember only being beaten twice in my lifetime, only twice in my lifetime. So he encouraged a lot of thought process whereby we're able to sit, we're able to evaluate, analyze what is going on right, what is not going on right. Yeah, we could take outings and really sit and really focus and reflect on what is happening right and what is not happening right. So for the fathers out there, it's good for us to know, yes, just as you've said, that the children are looking up to us. They're looking up to us for mentorship. Yeah, we are their macho man. We are the individuals that they're looking up to. And you're going to shape the kind of families or generations that these individuals are going to have. For the daughter, she's looking up to you as a mentor, as a protector, yes, as someone that she can confide in. Yeah. If I tell you my secrets, Dad, I hope you're going to protect me. The girls out there are looking for their fathers as someone who's going to teach them about relationships. It's good for the fathers to have one-on-one with their girls. Si kwenda out na watoto wote ngeni kwa gari twende. You can have that outing with kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3. So for that girl, it's good for you to affirm her, to make sure that she can accept the way she's created. Tell her she's beautiful. Hold her hand, hug her. The formal hugs, not the ones with ulterior motives. Take her out, buy her gifts, bring her all those kind of things. Let her really feel the love of the opposite gender through you. So that akikutana na chali huko nje ambapo, oh, your eyes are nice, hata faint. Ama mpatie body yake day one. She'll have gotten accustomed to this. And of course, you're telling her the truth. Open up the space whereby she can trust you with her deepest of secrets, without you being judgmental. For the son, you find on most occasions, most fathers want to be macho man to the guy. Antakumtukwe jisot, kuwa chali, be a man. We are told to be a man, but no one taught you how to be a man. So it's good for the fathers to start as early as possible from the age of 1, to teach their children how to think. Before you punish that kid, it's good for them to know or understand your thought process. When you drop a glass, dad is not happy, and because dad is not happy, he's going to punish you. And it's not punishing you, but it's removing that bad thing that caused you to drop the glass. So for that reason, you've guided them through the thought process so that by the next time they're going to drop the next one, they can automatically play the clip in their mind. So I take them out, we go speak boys matters at the age of 2, at the age of 3, at the age of 4, at the age of 5. So at the age of 6, the moment you start it early, you become friends with them. They're able to confide in you as well. They're able to trust you. Mahali mnaenda out, it can be once you've taken them out for kinyozi, the haircuts. It can be through some restaurant, buy them some samosas or a drink, or carry the ball, go somewhere, play with them. The moment you're able to start bonding with them at that tender age, by the time they are teenagers, it's going to be very easy for you to continually bond with them. But unfortunately, most of us are very busy with our gadgets. We are very busy looking for the billions and the millions. And by the time they are 14, they're also on their gadgets, on the 15 gadgets. They don't have time for you because you didn't create that rapport. They can't confide in you because you didn't create that safe space. And unakuta hapo sasa, wanaenda to their peers out there for guidance. And the next thing is that you want to start beating form 2 or form 3. I mean, so wameenda gym, wameinua machuma, unasikia msee anakwambia wewe buda, wewe jipange. Usijaribu hiyo kwangu. Yeah.
Manzi, we got right into it. Tumeendelea. And who is Joel Kobia and what does Joel do?
Oh, thank you. Joel Kobia is a born-again Christian. Joel Kobia is a Kenyan. Joel Kobia is a husband to one lady called Nelly. And I'm a father of boys and a girl. Yeah. Andy, Phil, and Sifa. Yeah. And married for around 12 years. This is our 13th year in marriage. Joel Kobia is a certified public accountant, a CPAK. I've sat in ISPAC, the committee that regulates accountancy in Kenya, in the past. Joel Kobia is a BCom Finance, Nairobi University. Yeah, I've also a master's in leadership and strategy. So I started off my career in the NGO sector as a deputy accountant East Africa region for some organization. Then from there, I moved into the banking sector where I worked for around 9.5 years, culminating to the head office of finance and strategy for one of the top 3 or top 4 banks that we have in Kenya. Then after 9.5 years, I stepped aside so that I can start my consultancy company that is called Royal Lead Consultants Limited. Royal Lead Consultants Limited. It's almost a tongue twister.
Yeah, I know. Mbona unajitesa hii?
Mateso bila chuki. Then from there, we started the Royal Lead Consultants Limited, which does consultancy in leadership and also strategy. So I've consulted for more than 100 companies in Kenya. Top companies in Kenya. Then I also have a company called Life Syllabus Review. Life Syllabus, we run life coaching programs whereby we sit with individuals on marriage, where we sit with individuals on how to lead yourself in terms of your personal financial management, discovering your purpose, public speaking, and all these other things that you need at the personal level. Yeah, so that's the second arm of our company. And I happen to be the lead consultant in the Royal Lead Consultants.
Wow. Life coach, something you mentioned. I increasingly meet persons like yourself who say, I'm a life coach. Unani coach nini in life mtu yangu? Abu niambie. What is life coaching?
Life coaching. Now, life coaching is a blend of counseling and mentorship. Yeah, is a blend of mentoring and counseling. And you find we're able to pick individuals at various levels in their lives. Maybe you're married and you've gone to a counselor to be assisted on how to have your marriage thriving, and for one reason or the other it's not working. Umeenda kuombewa, maybe it's not working. Now you come to life coaching. Life coaching, we work with you in terms of, first of all, we try to understand your personality. Yeah, how are you wired? In my second book, I'm also an author. In my second book, The Go for Gold, The Art of Asking Right, we talk about you being the way you are because of 3 things. You are the way you are because of your nature. That's how you're wired. Number 2, you're the way you are because of your nurture. That is how you've been brought up.
Yes.
And number 3, you're the way you are because of your choices, the choices that you make in life. So we start off by really understanding how are you wired in terms of your personality profiling. Now in the second book, Go for Gold, I give an appendix table that if you used it is a tool that can help you know whether you are an extrovert, an introvert, yes, and an extrovert, introvert, you're able to tell whether you are a sanguine, choleric, melancholy, or a phlegmatic. Now once we've understood how you're wired, we're able to understand why you think the way you think, why you act the way you act. And we really help you to really understand who you are and how you are wired. Because a house divided against itself cannot stand. Most people have got issues in life because they've not really understood themselves. Now, once you've understood the way you are wired, it becomes a lot easier for you to understand how other people are wired. And of course, with that, we now get you into the path of empathy. Now, no, empathy is a subcomponent of what we call emotional intelligence. They tell us that 30% of your success is guided by your IQ. That is your intelligent quotient.
Yes.
Yeah, and over 70% of your success rate on earth is determined by your IQ. No, by your EQ. That is your emotional quotient. Yeah, or what they call emotional intelligence. Now, emotional intelligence is anchored on 4 components. The first one is intrapersonal relationship. That means how you relate with yourself. The second one is interpersonal relationship, how you relate with the world around you, the people in your circles. Number 3 is adaptability. How easy is it for you to adapt to a new change that has happened? You've just been married, umekuwa bachelor hiyo miaka yote. How easy is it for you to transit from being a bachelor into a married man? Yes, you've just been promoted to a new position. How easy is it for you to transit from where you are just a follower to this position whereby you are a leader? And you find the 4th component of emotional intelligence is stress management. Many people are not able to manage their stress. And we guide you to allow yourself to be the driver of your life. You take over the driver's seat of your life. And at that point, we guide you to know that no one owes you anything. At that point, we guide you to the realization that only what you do gets done. Yes. And we also guide you to know that you are the problem. You are the problem. If there's a problem in your marriage, the problem is not your spouse, you are the problem. If you have an issue with your employer, the problem is not them, the problem is you. Why? Because those people could be interacting very well with several other colleagues, but the only problem is you. Unasikia msee anasema damu yangu na yake hazisikizani. Shida si damu, kwa sababu hiyo damu inasikizana na damu nyingine. So what is the problem with your blood? Your damu, in quotes, that is causing you not to rhyme with this other individual. In my first book, Between Me and My Exploits, I guide us to the realization that we will never see our face with our naked eyes. Hiyo uso yako utaiona. Hizo macho zako utaiziona. Sema utumie selfie, ama upigwe picha na paparazzi, ama ujiangalie kwa kioo. But with your naked eyes, 360 vile nakuchekisa hiyo utaijiona 3D. Becomes very hard. You'll never see your ears, you'll never see your neck. That means we are too close to ourselves, and yet we are too far away. No wonder wahenga wakatuambia kikulacho kinguoni mwako, usikitafute mbali. Now, the greatest problem is that most of us are looking out for people that we can blame for those things that are not happening right in our lives. You have an issue, makwapa inanuka kila wakati, wase wanakuavoid. And wamesha kuambia, lakini unaanza kusema unanionea, ni shetani. You're always looking for something to blame. What if, my brother, you give the world a benefit of doubt? If they said when kierere mob, instead of kwenda udu kwani nikierahera kwani oni, instead of you defending yourself, how about you calling yourself to a meeting and you tell yourself, wait a minute, what are those negative things I've heard about me today? And if I sat down, took a piece of paper and a pen, and I started writing all those negative things I heard about me, and I realized that I'm the top worker in my life. There's no one else who can come and sort these things. It's only I who can sort these things. So the moment I come up with a curriculum on the areas that I'm supposed to improve on my life, I'm going to ask myself, what can I do so that I'm not kierehere? Maybe I can start looking for people who are not kierehere. Yes, so that they can guide me on how to tone down. And after 1 month or 2 months, the person who called me kierehere is not going to call me that again. If they said I'm arrogant and I call myself to a meeting and I really give them a benefit of doubt and I started asking, what if what they said about me is true? I'm going to come up with a formula that is going to guide me not be arrogant. The moment I meet that person in 6 months, they're not going to call me arrogant again. Why? Because I worked on myself. So one of the greatest problems is that we go to bed without calling ourselves to a meeting to evaluate how our day was, to evaluate the failures that we did that day, to evaluate our successes. Because how you do anything is how you do everything. How you do anything is how you do everything. So if I waste a day, then my year has a waste, my month has a waste, my week has a waste, my quarter has a waste. If I dent a second, My destiny has a dent. So how about me becoming very deliberate about focusing on those things which are not working right on my life? So tukasema hautawaiona uso yako. For that reason, look for at least 3 people in your life. Someone who loves you, someone who believes in you, someone who wishes you well, and someone who is truthful to you. Ask them.
Someone who loves you.
They love you, they believe in you, they wish you well, and they're truthful to you.
Wow.
And ask them, what are those things about my life that you don't like? Christ, one of the greatest leaders, asked his disciples, what do people say? Who do people say I am?
I am, yeah.
So it's very good for us to really hear those negative things and those positive things, but mostly focus on the negative so that we can work on ourselves.
Right.
If I don't work on myself, it becomes very hard. So that person who tells me I'm arrogant is just like a person telling me that I've got a black spot here or a white spot.
Yeah.
And they can easily tell me what I took for breakfast. Because if I took porridge, maybe anaona uji hapa or some bit of Weetabix somewhere. I should not argue with that person. So those people who tell you negative things about you, don't call them haters. Don't block them from your life. Call yourself to a meeting and have what they told you about you as an agenda. Work on it. And of course, with that, you improve the version that you're going to give to the world.
I've always seen that comment statement somewhere. I'm always cutting off toxic people. Perhaps I'm the toxic one. Because I'm the one who's always... but now, because I know it's a thin line.
It's a very thin line.
Because every time you listen to what people are saying about you and then you dwell on that, I see you're giving them too much power. Kidogo. As in, that's my thinking.
Okay, give them too much power.
Like, yeah.
That's true, yeah. It's a very thin line, I agree with you. Because we agreed that I'm the top worker in my life.
Yes.
Yeah. The things which I don't like about my life or people don't like about my life, I'm the only one who can change.
Right.
No one can change you without your permission. For that reason, I always say I would rather be surrounded by 1 million enemies who will tell me the truth on the things that I need to work on than 10 million friends who will tell me what I want to hear. Those who tell me what I want to hear on most occasions are sycophants.
Yeah.
They just want our relationship to continually be cordial, to be good. Some of those people, they love me, they believe in me, they wish me well, but they're not truthful to me. They're not going to tell me the truth. So this is a king. He's dressed naked.
Yeah.
And the people around him are telling him, oh, long live the king. Oh, hail the king. I like your suit. You're looking awesome. You're looking wonderful. Be on that suit forever. Of course, deep within them, they know that's not the truth. Are they helping the king? No. They're not helping the king. How about that person who is going to arise and tell you, excuse me, Phil, naona fly yako, zip yako imefunguka. And it's a lady. And gentlemen were there surrounding you. Wanachungulia tu wanashindwa, mama. Kuna mtu anaweza mfunga duka. Now, the person who tells you, up your zip, funga duka, should that person become an enemy? No. Because they're helping you. They're just a messenger.
Yeah.
Chances are high that everyone else is seeing what that other person saw, but they didn't have the courage to tell you. No wonder it's recorded, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Enemies are going to tell you the truth about you. Ukiona vielea vyaundwa. On most occasions, these enemies are going to give you a mark that you can improve on. And if you can work on those things that they've been telling you negativity about, you're going to become a better person.
Okay.
So we are not giving them strength over us. We are not giving them authority over us. But we are just asking ourselves, how much can we glean from the information? How much can we pick from the negativities they have regarding us? The moment I work on those areas, then they'll have nothing to say about me.
So Kobia, I grew up in a toxic home. I have not loved myself. I've properly turned brass. How do you help me to start cleaning myself to turn into gold? How do you, because some people, they've never known love.
Yes.
They don't know what love is. And that person is in such a deep pit. Like, how do you even start working on someone like that? For them to start loving themselves and to start building themselves up. For them to go for gold. Wow, I walk into your office and I'm that guy.
Several I've worked. I've dealt a lot. I've been on this national media for quite some time. And this day I had a program on one of the stations, I won't mention which. But a lady called, I gave my number online, and the lady called and told me, that was almost 5 years ago. Akaniambia, I'm in Rift Valley. I'm a person who has done several evil things, which are not, they can even not be spoken about, touching on people's lives. And several people lost their lives as a result of this, having a relationship with this person. And we got into sessions of what can I do? And in some of those sessions, I started by asking her, what caused you to get there? And she told me that I was a young girl at around age 6, 7. I saw my uncle murder my mother. And from that day, I developed a very negative attitude towards men. And she gave a very bad negative word about all men. And she told me that she's purposed to punish all men on earth. She told me she's very, very beautiful. And for that reason, anagetwase kuja kwa circle yake of friends, then she does something that is going to cause them either to destroy themselves or someone to destroy them completely, and they don't have life. That is a person who has got a lot of hurt deep within. They've got issues of unforgiveness. How could that uncle do that? And the uncle didn't see her when he was murdering the mom. Of course, she kept changing her phone numbers so that maybe some of these things cannot be reported to the police, because some of them are very criminal, or high criminal offenses. Some of them deserved death row. Lakini she kept changing, and of course, 5 years, within a period of 3 years, she called me after almost 6 months and told me, thank you for the sessions. At last, I'm out of it. Sometime last year, I was called by a certain parent. Akaniambia the son wants to commit suicide. And I got the opportunity of having several life coaching sessions with the son. This son, walikosana na baba yake akiwa class 4. The dad found the guy drawing. He was very good in drawing. He was in these international schools, group of schools. Baba yake akampata akichora, akachukua hiyo pictures, akararua, akatupa. And kutoka hapo, class 4, the guy developed a grudge against the dad. Class 4. In high school, alisoma 3 schools, 6 years high school. Yes. So kumaliza high school, akatoka home kwao. They live in the leafy suburbs. Akakomboa a house, 1,000 shillings in the slums. And she got engaged with a certain girl on Facebook, social media. Kutoka hapo akaanza mambo yao. Sex, unprotected, Illuminati, bad, evil stuff. And this guy, the father says, you won't marry the girl. The guy says, if I don't marry her, then I would rather be dead. And so I was called the day that he was planning to commit suicide. So kuongea na guy ndio nikakuja kujua it all started 4 years ago. Of course, we took him through the entire life coaching, and he came to the realization that no one owes him anything on earth. If he destroys himself on account of punishing the father, he's the only one who's losing. So after almost 10 sessions, we had a sitting with the dad. Tukaketi hapa in one of the restaurants in town. They apologized to each other. They reconciled. Something ambayo ilikuwa imefanyika. The guy is around 26. A 4-year-old should be around 9. So for all those years, the grudge was there. No wonder all those bad things were happening. Now, what was causing all this to happen? All those 15, 16, 18 years. The thing that was happening is the noise factor. I write that, I've written about that in my first book, Between Me and My Exploits. Now, what the noise factor does is that something bad will happen to you. You will feel as if you're not good, you're not worthy. And what your mind will start doing, it is start filtering all the negative things or the pointers that will confirm that you're useless, you're worthless, and nothing good can come out of you. So if there's a girl who told you, mkiwa watu hii, mapua yako, akaenjoy mapua yako, ama akaenjoy shingo yako, ama akaenjoy, hivi ulikuwa na enjoyana, sijui mapua nini, kama hiyo mchongo ano. And you start focusing on those things, unajiambia maybe that's the reason. If your mom told you something negative, or your dad told you something negative, especially for the melancholies, you find it becomes very hard for you to progress because that noise is still ringing in your mind. This guy has become number last in a national school. So what noise factor can be there? How useless, how worthless, unajiambia umerogwa, unajiambia all those manner of bad things. Maybe I'm not loved, maybe it's because I'm a child born like this and that. You start looking for all those negative things. Now, the moment you focus on negativity, what happens? you attract negativity in your life. Yeah. Whatever you water grows. Whatever you feed on continually grows. So if you're continually feeding the negative thought about you, you find it becomes very easy for you even to commit suicide. Why? Because you filtered out all the positivity and you're only focusing on the negativity. So in life coaching, you're guided to focus also on the good things and also to interpret your negative things positively. Romans chapter 8, verse 28, in all things, God works together for the good. That means that failure that you suffered in life, that means that rejection that you suffered in that relationship, it was working for the good. Is it God to look for the good or you to look for the good? Now it's up to you to look for the good. If I don't look for the good, then I'm not going to see it and I'm not going to focus on it. So if we can pick lessons out of the negative things that happened to us in life, we can use that as a foundation that is going to catapult us to the next level. Fact, more than 50% of the people who do counseling, if you investigate their life, they've gone through psychological torture. Yes.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
they pull themselves out and they were like, I need to pull
someone out as well.
Whoa. Okay. Okay, ile swali nilikuwa naenda kuuliza next imeenda, but it's okay. Do you have a mantra in life? What's your mantra? What do you
mantra in life?
Yeah. What's that one line you keep telling yourself? Oh, actually what I wanted to ask is, you sound like a guy who meditates in the morning. Is it something? Is it something you do or?
Yes. That's something I do. On most occasions, I prefer waking up whenever possible by 4 a.m. So that I'm able to really have some time with myself and times with God. I really want to live my day in my mind before I live it physically. I also work as hard as possible to take a few minutes before I go to bed and have my diary or my jotter, and I really want to reflect on how my day was. What are those things that I got right? What are those things that I failed? What are those things that I need to improve on? What should I stop doing? What should I start doing? What should I continue doing? And of course, on that basis, I mark for myself. Every evening, I come up with what is called a to-do list. To-do lists. Of course, it's coming from my life wheel. There are goals given in 8 specific areas of my life. That's something.
Okay, life wheel.
So at the night, before I get to bed, I want to call myself to a meeting. This time, no one in my vicinity. Maybe I do it before we pray with my wife or before we get to bed. She has to excuse me a bit. With my jotter, I'm able to really jot down what worked, what didn't work. I'm also able to check my to-do list. I give myself 20 things or 15 things to do. I tick the ones that I did, the ones I didn't get. I put X, then I give myself marks. Then I tell myself what I can do differently tomorrow so that I'm able to get 100% from my list. We agreed how you do anything is how you do everything. So with that, I also come up with a to-think list. So to think list, these are the things that you want to think about tomorrow.
What? Okay.
You find, we said when we were starting, 5% think, 10% think that they think. 85% of us would rather die than think. Kufikiria ni one of the hardest things that people do on earth. So unakuta msee ameboeka, natafuta msee ako na maseries, sijui tufanye nini, unapigia msee simu na msho wake nimeboeka, uko na mchoro. Or you want to watch a certain program because you're bored. But if you give yourself a program or a guide or a schedule or a script of what you want to think about tomorrow, if I'm walking from here to my car, for example, I have given myself what to think today. By the time I'm driving to home, kwa hiyo gari, there's either some music playing or I want to reflect. What did I tell myself I'm supposed to think about today? And for that reason, some of those things that are very critical in our lives, something that you should have thought about 15 years ago, 10 years ago, you jot them down and you're able to run your life the way it's supposed to be. Yeah, because your meditation, reflection becomes very, very important. Finally, I also second last, I also believe so much in meditating through the Word of God, because Word of God has got a lot of guidance on how our life is supposed to be lived today. Yeah, and how it's supposed to be lived tomorrow. All those other kind of things. Then I also call myself to a meeting with great minds on earth. Yeah, so there are those people that I follow, maybe on Twitter. There are those people I follow on FB or on YouTube. Yeah, I really want to connect with them, call myself to a meeting with them, and have my mind exchange ideas with theirs. So I really want to learn from them. On the basis of that, I'm also able to reflect on my life and really check out what is not working and what is working. Remember, I already have a script. I have a program, a syllabus on the things that ought to be amended in my life. So I don't just think about what to reflect on or what to search on Google Net today or tomorrow. I already have the script or the syllabus that is supposed to guide what I'm supposed to be looking out for every single day.
I know once you start practicing it, it becomes second nature to you and unazoea, but what you've just said seems so complicated. Nakanika, sasa navili life ni hard. Sasa mimi niko kila usiku niko na list ya what I'm going to think about tomorrow and targets. Why is this important to humans generally? Like planning your life. Why is this so important?
It's very important for us to plan our lives, because before I become the CEO of my company, I'm first and foremost my CEO. Yeah. And we agreed how you do anything is how you do everything. I can't give to the world what I don't have.
Absolutely.
I can't give what I don't have. So I mentioned about the 8 spheres of our lives. Yeah. But before I get to the 8 spheres of our lives, it's very important for me to come up with a prototype of how I live my life. For you, as a MD of your organization, you have a list of what is expected of you from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So at the personal level, because I'm also the CEO of my life, I need to come up with a prototype of how my normal day looks like. For example, I wake up at 8. No, I wake up at 4. Between 4 and 5, I'm doing my reflections, meditation. After that, I'm exercising for around 30 minutes. That's a must. It's a must. It has to be done. Kabla uingie kwa bathroom, lazima ukuwe umesweat as a principle. Yeah. Then, of course, after doing that, you want to be with your family. Kama ni watoto wanaenda shule like today, you want to be with them. Yeah, you want to drop them to school. Occasionally, kama wajakuja kuchukuliwa na kama utaki waende na bus that day. Yeah. Then from there, you know that from 8 to this time I'm going to do this. From 9 to this time I'm going to do this. 11 to this time I'm going to do this. The moment you come up with a prototype, you won't waste too much time thinking. So I don't have to waste too much time thinking, what time will I wake up tomorrow? It's already registered in my mind. On most occasions, you don't need an alarm to wake you up in the morning. Why? Because it's already ingrained in you. What are you supposed to be doing between 11 and 1? You've already programmed yourself every single day between 11 and 1. This is what I'm supposed to do. If it's calling friends, catching up, you know, this is the time that I've set up for that. Yeah. The moment I come up with it that way, I won't have to waste too much time thinking what next. Some people suffer a lot of stress. Why? Because they don't know what they're going to do next. Yeah. Now, the moment I am able to come up with a prototype for my day, the time I'm going to read, I have to sit down and make my reflections on finances, for example. How much have I earned today? And how much have I spent today? I have to record it. I have an Excel template whereby I have to record every single day how much has come in and how much is going out from my personal, including donations and all these other kind of things. So if you ask a question, how much have you spent the last 5 years on your spouse or on your children or on entertainment? I mean, that should be clear cut because how I do anything is how I do everything. So the moment I now go to my office and I'm supposed to be my CEO of that organization, it becomes very easy for me to deal with my accountant. It becomes very easy for me to deal with my marketing manager because I'm also first and foremost the marketing manager of my life. So if I'm able to have these systems work right in my life as a CEO, the moment I get there, it's very easy for me to replicate them to my team.
Wanafunzi wenzangu, mmesikia hiyo? It's a concept I was introduced to about Yeah, 3 years ago. At that time, we were doing a business model for our company. And this was something intensive and very expensive. And after that, the gentleman that was taking us through creating our business model asked us a question, and I took it upon myself to follow up on it. It's like, if you guys are spending this much money and this much time to create a business model, how much more time and money should you spend creating a business model for you as a person?
I like that.
So he introduced me to a book called Business Model You. I can't remember the author. And like, if anything in your life has to be successful, whether it's business, whether it's a relationship, whether it's family, whether it's social, whether it's sports, whatever it is, if it has to be successful, you first have to succeed, you personally.
It has to start from you.
It has to start from you.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You can't give what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have.
Wanafunzi, are you working on yourself? Oh my goodness.
And so for that reason, you find you have 8 directors in you.
Yeah.
Because you are the CEO.
Yes.
The first director is your emotional director. It's need for you to, or me, to really check on myself emotionally. How am I doing? How am I feeling? As I get to that meeting, how am I feeling?
Yeah.
Am I angry? Am I sad? Are there any disappointments that I'm carrying with me? Because if I'm carrying any disappointments in me, chances are high I'm going to pass them on to my team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Low energy levels. So I need to come up with a way of psyching myself up if I'm low. Maybe come up with a way of motivating myself. It can be a hobby, listening to some music, going to some basketball shot, court, unarusha some few shots, stress inatoroka, or calling that person ambaye atakwambia atangusha ka joke so that you get back to your level. So it's good for me to check on myself emotionally. How am I doing? Number 2, I need to check on my health. Yeah. How well am I doing physically in terms of my physique? Yeah. In terms of my water intake. Daktari anasema to take 80 glasses of water. Nasikia mtu anasema kwetu mimi naona kama nimerogwa. Maji tunapatana nao kwa soup ama kwa chai.
It's true.
Amonani na maji. In terms of exercising, kitambi 1 pack. Those sit-ups, those the jumping of running on the spot. It's not a must to go to the gym. Some of these things can be done at home. Checking out your food intake, vitu kama hizo, so that at least you make sure that health-wise you're okay. Sleeping the 8 hours. At least the 6 to 8 hours that you're supposed to. Those basics exercising. If I'm able to do that, then my physical is going to be great. One of the things that really worked for us in high school was everyone was supposed to do some bit of sports. Kwa naamshwa asubuhi, lazima tuende jogging. Na nikiangalia shule, it's ranked top 10 on most occasions. It's because they've got also a sports culture to make sure that you must be alert. Sports, exercising keeps you alert. Inatoa ile laziness in your mind. I have to do 40 sit-ups. I have to do maybe 40 press-ups every single day. It's not very easy. It's going to be a bit painful. It's also going to give you some self-discipline. Ukiona msee ameunga si ati ni hivyo tu. Kuna a lot of pain that has gone through it, a lot of sacrifice. So this can be passed on to your organization. Number 3, I look at my spirituality, my relationship with God. Life is not just about this earth. There's more spiritual as compared to the physical. And there's a lot that we can't understand what's happening in the spiritual realm. So I also need to make sure that my relationship na sa God manzi iko fomu, iko poa. Then number 4, I need to look at my personal development. How well am I investing in myself? We are talking about you reading that book, The Mental Health. I'm talking about my wardrobe. When is the last time I invested in myself? I'm talking about me taking me out to really celebrate some good thing that has happened in my life. Si tu kujichocha tu sa ile uko na mabeshto wako lakini ukiwa solo na kuanga tu mkono gamu. There's need for us to really have those opportunities of loving us. Personal development, invest in self. Number 5, I'm looking at relationships. No man is an island. I need to create time for networking. I need to create time and a list of who I'm going to call tomorrow, who I'm going to call the day after tomorrow, who I'm going to SMS next week, and who I'm going to send an M-Pesa of just telling them, boss, umekuwa tu beshte yangu, just to appreciate. So I have to create time for networking, for relationships. Number 7, I need to create time for my family. I need to create time for my wife, for my spouse. Once every 2 weeks, we go out, probably, or at most a month. Mahali tunaenda nje, we just sit down and reflect about our children, about our parenting, about our finances, about our romance. Hizo vitu zote.
Yes.
We evaluate about our relationship, about our communication, all those things, so that we don't have to wait for things to go out of hand. I have to create time for my children. Time for playing with them, chess and all those other kind of things, like sisi, every Saturday is a day for chess. No, it is a day for Monopoly. We have to sit down and really learn life lessons. So I need to start teaching them about investing, about saving, all these other things, about loans, all those things, how they can happen at a very tender age. Create time for them. Then number 7, which is the second last, I need to create time to review about my career. How is my organization doing? How well am I doing? Where do I see my organization in the next 1 year, the next 3 years? Who are those people that I need to work with? I need to call myself to that meeting, to really project. For those who are employed, for how long do I want to be employed? By when should I have started my own organization? Si ati ukishafika 60, ukishakuwa kicked out, so ndio unaenda kuanza kale ka side hustle, umekuwa unajiambia ati utakimbia nako. The last one is about finances. It's recorded Matthew chapter 6 verse 24. You cannot serve 2 masters. You love one or hate the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Money is a god. On earth, we have 2 kinds of people. We have purpose chasers and we also have money chasers. Now, if you make up your mind to follow money all life long, you'll never know when it's enough. If you're not able to track the little or the much that comes to you, then it becomes very hard for you to become accountable, a good manager of your finances. So I also need to call myself to that meeting and ask my finance director in me how well I'm doing. For that reason, I have to record every single day, and I have to review my finances at least once every week to find out whether they are going in line. I have to come up with my prioritization listing. I have to come up with my budgets, all those other kind of things which are supposed to really have me aligned. So if I'm able to look at the 8 aspects of my life, the 8 directors, they're able to give me guidance on how well I'm doing, then I'm not going to get lost. Why? Because my life is balanced. If things are not working well at home, chances are high that you're not going to concentrate. If your finances have got issues, hapo ndo unakuta fraud inaingilia job. If you find emotionally you are constrained, then you can't give the best. So you have to lead a balanced life.
Bro, with those 8 directors in your life, who may sum up everything about life and life coaching, you actually touched on everything. Hata sina kitu ingine ya kuuliza kwanza. I was curious about life coaching, but with those 8 points, you've actually summed it up. Oh, wow, that's amazing. First one?
The first one is the emotional director.
Emotional director.
Second one is the health. Third is the spiritual. 4th is the personal development. My brand. I need to work on my brand.
All right.
5th is my relationships, my networking. No man is an island. How well am I doing in terms of being there for other people? 6 about my inner core. Inner core, I'm talking about my spouse. I'm looking at my children. For those who are not yet married or spoused, they can look at their parents or their confidants, the people who are closest to them. That person, ukimuita usiku at midnight, they can come to your rescue. So create time for that. That's number 6. Number 7 is about my career or my purpose. So I want to refine my purpose, my reason for being alive. If you are given 1 week to be alive, would you be doing what you're doing now?
Absolutely. I'm okay with that.
Then the last one, number 8, is about your finances. Now, finances, we look at your investments, we look at your savings, all those kind of things. We look at your spending patterns, we look at your budgets, all those kind of things. It's a whole module in itself. So before COVID, I had a program called Life Syllabus Review. I used to run it at the Clarion Hotel every first week of the month, on Friday. And I would guide people to revise their life syllabus. And on most occasions, we'll just rotate around the 8 areas of our directorship, we being the CEO.
Wasomi wenzangu, wanafunzi. I think Mr. Joel here has summed up life and what in all aspects, like your 8 spheres of life are all encompassing.
It touches on everything. Everything.
Just give them a point in short. Hata sina kitu ingine, you can talk to them over here. Just, for this class, it's about secrets to success, secrets to a happy life, becoming a CEO in life.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Okay, that's wonderful. One is, we only have one opportunity or one chance to create a first impression. A first impression cannot be created twice. And you only have one chance to live your best life. So life is not a rehearsal. We don't tell ourselves that we are going to live our best life tomorrow. The best life can be done today. No one knows about your tomorrow. So if there's someone that you need to talk to, don't say that I'm going to talk to them someday. Become deliberate, intentional, and purposeful. Look for those people. If there are any areas of your life that people are not comfortable about or you're not comfortable about, call yourself to a meeting every single day. Ensure that you have a date with yourself, at least 15 minutes, whereby you review what is happening right in your life and those areas that you really need to work on. You need to realize that you're the top worker in your life. You also need to own up the problems that you encounter in your relationships. Don't tell yourself that someone has bewitched you or things are not working because God is against you. God can never be against you. He's the one who created you and he has the best interests of your life at heart. So join the A team. Become the top cheerleader in your life. Become the top worker in your life. Don't live a life with an entitlement mentality, as if everyone owes you everything. Tell yourself, I am the problem. Work on the problems that you see. Tell yourself you're the top worker in your life. Tell yourself no one owes you anything. And for that reason, give yourself the prerogative of taking over the CEO position of your life. Friends, may the world celebrate your exploits. Thank you.
I almost said amen. It feels like a service. Where can someone buy your book?
Okay.
And someone who's looking for a life coach, how can they reach you?
Okay. My book can be gotten from mzizi.com. Yeah, mzizi.com. Sorry, mzizi.com. That's MZIZZI.com. I repeat, MIZI, Mizizi. ZI.com. Then you're going to look for Go for Gold, or you can look for Royal Lead Books. Royal Lead Books. The other bit is my social media platforms. It can be Joel Kobia -Tijo. Joel Kobia -Tijo. You can also check out my YouTube channel, LSR Forum with Tijo. LSR Forum with Tijo. And of course, with those platforms, I want to believe you're going to find out what is it that you are doing, and you're also able to find out what you're doing every single day in matters personal leadership, and of course, on corporate consultancy.
All right. Absolutely. Class today has been about life. We have been coached. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time and honoring our invite. Thank you. As usual, guys, this is Baraza Media Lab. Hapa hivi kabooth kafiti sana, unaweza kama mfanye job yako na kahawa. It's a lovely place on Riverside. Check them out. Again, this audio is available on SoundCloud. Field Director, look for Field Director to find the audio, so that you can always listen to this conversation, because I'm sure those 8 spheres of life that you need to take charge is not something you're going to grasp at once, something you need to listen over and over. So save this conversation somewhere on your phone, play it as you're driving to work or you're walking or whatever you're doing. Asanteni sana. Can't wait for the next lesson. Thank you so much.
Thank you.